Hello, everyone. I'm Briscoe Diggs, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk. Today, I have a lovely lady with us. She's a personal friend of mine, but we'll get into that later. She is an actress, she is a producer, and she can kick your butt. She's a martial artist. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Kelly Kula. Welcome, Kelly.
Hey, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be on my little show.
Absolutely. It's not a little show, right? We're just talking
I know.
about it.
We were just talking about that. We talk a lot beforehand because,
Yes.
she's married to one of my closest friends. I could say my brother, Miguel.
Yeah. I think before you actually said that I stole him from you.
Yeah, oh, that's right. He was supposed to be my brother lover, like Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. But then Kelly came along and, what can you do? He's straight, so.
We're all family anyway, so it all
yeah, I know. So, yeah, we're all family, so it's all good. But anyway, so let me ask you, I know these things, but let me ask you, where were you raised? And where were you raised?
I was raised in a really rural part of Michigan called Traverse City. And I can't even say Traverse City because it's even more rural than that, but Traverse City is like the biggest, closest city that there is.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally my parents still to this day live in the same house, have no Wi-Fi.
Wow, really?
You open the door and go outside at night and it is the most crystal clear, quiet you've ever heard. It's almost so quiet it's painful, but it's also really beautiful. So I grew up really loving the outdoors, but also being the youngest of three sisters, I was a really, really big tomboy, which you can kind of probably still guess that I still am. Still am one. But I mean, I think living in rural Michigan is really funny because I couldn't be in the more opposite place now. Like you go from a tiny little small town where literally my graduating class, I think, was 96 people.
Wow.
And now I live in LA where it's like 96 people I don't even know what that would equate to. Like that's how many people
go to line at Trader Joe's.
Yeah, exactly. Trader Joe's. So it's interesting just to see like where I've come from and where I am now. But I absolutely loved my upbringing. Michigan is gorgeous. Very small, very quaint. Everyone's really nice to each other, which is really weird because everyone makes eye contact with you and like says, hello, how's it going? And so when I came out here, nobody did that. They all thought that I was very strange. It's a really weird thing to try to put my head around, but I still do that. Like that's one thing that hasn't really left me. But yeah, my entire family is still there. I moved out here with one friend. I mean, she moved out a year before, but I only knew one person.
Right.
So when I moved out to LA, we luckily became roommates. So at least I had somebody, and she was actually a year younger than me from the same high school.
Are you
and
kidding?
I think you met Michelle.
Yeah, of course. She gave me my massage on my birthday. That was a great gift. Thank you. But no, she's a professional masseuse, is that what you say it? Massage therapist, and you guys got me that for my birthday a few years ago. So yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it was cool to have a little piece of home out here, and from there it just basically was planting the seed and germinating into this. I love LA. I mean,
me too.
There's obviously ugly and awesome parts of every city, but I think it's really the opportunity, and I love this industry that we're in. Like, as hard as it is, as mean as it can be to you, I can't imagine myself going back. And everyone keeps saying, when are you going to move back home? When are you going to start a family? I'm like, first of all, I'm too old to make those babies. But no, I've never thought about moving back. It's good as it was. Like, this is home.
What year was it that you moved here?
Oh, wow. That's going to date me. I moved out. It was November 2004. So,
wow. So you were just a little like 12-year-old. You were just 12.
I know, right? Exactly.
Your parents let you leave that young?
They shipped me out. They're like, take her.
Let me take you back to Michigan for a minute, though, because you are the first and only beauty queen that I know. So explain this to everyone.
I appreciate that. It is more than just a beauty queen, but I'm gonna.
No, I know it is. I know it is. That's why I want you to explain it because, you just happen to be beautiful too.
Yeah, it's really weird because, as I was saying, growing up, I was a huge tomboy. So the fact that I was even in the pageant world did not make sense. And especially like explaining it to my dad, who's like, he didn't know how to handle like this girl who's wearing a crown and this girl who's like getting dirty in the mud. Like those two people are in one person.
I love that.
I was trying to remember. I don't even remember what it was, but I wanted to be, and there's a local pageant, you can call it, It's the National Cherry Festival. And so they have a cherry queen. And the thing that people don't understand, it's really different from like Miss America and Miss USA and all that, in that it's very specific to the region. It's for the cherry industry and the cherry festival, but it's more of a spokesmodel. So, I like to think that it was a beauty contest, but
right. No, it definitely was. You're gorgeous, so you know that.
but I was also very awkward, so I just had to really embrace that. But yeah, so becoming the National Cherry Queen was based on interviews and being able to articulate yourself, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and being able to have poise, grace, and confidence. And for an entire year, I was able to represent the industry and the festival. Speaking engagements, a lot of festivals, like locally, it was a lot of little festivals. You go out to them and kind of have a partnership. And then there was bigger festivals. And the first time I was ever in California is because we were guests of the Rose Bowl.
Wow, that's a big deal.
It was so cool. They brought us out, and it was so funny at the time. I think I was 21 when I won. And their queens were just in high school, so it was only like a 4-year difference, but you felt so much older. Like, ooh, I'm an old fart compared to these guys. But building the Rose Bowl floats, that was probably the coolest thing that I have seen, just having all those flowers out there. But I remember I was out, and I literally I could probably throw a baseball. I wouldn't hit it, but the hotel that we stayed in is right here in Burbank, where I live.
Oh, okay.
So it come full circle. And I remember standing on the edge of the balcony and looking out at the hills and thinking, this is going to be my home.
Wow.
And that was about 6 months before I gave up my title, and about 10 months before I moved. So,
wow. See how things work out? It's amazing.
Honestly, that was the turning point for me. I know it sounds really strange, because when they hear that you were a pageant winner, like, oh, she's just full of hot air and she's just beauty. And it was literally the first time that I grasped the confidence in being myself. And it was the first time I had won anything just by being me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that is something huge that I've carried into this industry, because being an actor, you have to be confident in who you are, because if you're always comparing yourself to others, they're always going to rise above you, and you're always going to be down here trying to be something that you're not.
Right.
So being able to be fully confident in who I am, flaws and all, that was probably the most powerful thing that I learned from that. And then I moved, and it's like 2,500 miles away, and so many odd years later, here I am.
So I understand you have like you said earlier, you have this balance, or this sports world with this theater world. How did you blend those together, or did you have to like jump from one to the other? I was like that in high school as well. I wasn't into sports, but I jumped from a lot of different groups. I didn't have just one particular.
Yeah, I was the same way. I mean, I wasn't a popular kid. I wasn't a dorky kid. I always called myself a floater, because I liked everybody. And I thought it was so weird that, how did the popular people would decide, like, we're going to be the popular kids? Like,
I have to be honest. I was a very popular kid, and it was just something that just happened. You don't decide.
And it's so weird. I'm like, all right, that's cool. But I've always loved sports, because my dad and I would always play sports together. So I was kind of like, he got 3 girls, so I was kind of the closest he got to having a boy.
Well, thank God you liked it, though.
Well, I loved it. I loved sports. And it was weird, because I watched a movie, and I remember I was like 10 years old, and it was like a Hallmark Lifetime movie. But watching the performance and the feelings that I got out of it, that's when I decided, oh my gosh, I want to do that for people. That's what I want to do. I want to be an actor. And I was, if you know me, I was the shyest person in the world. So for me to like realize that in a time when I was super shy, I didn't know what to do with it. My first audition was my sophomore year in high school, and I got up on stage. It was for the Wizard of Oz, so you had to sing something. And I got up on stage and I started crying because I was so nervous.
Oh no!
I mean, you sound amazing when you're in the shower, but when you have to go up. And so I said I need a minute, and I remember this. I always remember this. And I went back down to the seats with all my peers, and they all came over to me, and I'm like, oh great, here it comes. They're gonna make fun of me and joust at me. And they were like, oh my gosh, I've been there too. And all of them were just so encouraging. It was that moment. It was like, these are the people I want to be around the rest of my life.
Right.
They were championing me. And it was so weird, because no one really cared that I was the sports jock, because I think that those are kind of like, I don't know what the word would be necessarily. They're stereotypes.
Right, exactly.
Fit into them, because you can be both. It's not either or, it's an and situation.
Right, exactly.
It's just natural. So
Exactly.
ooh, got some tunes going on.
No, all of a sudden, like they're like you said, I said like that's exactly, and the chimes are like exactly. Can you hear those?
I thought it was the ice cream truck, and I was gonna start.
I hate that. I'm sick of that damn song. And then when it's cold, he's like out there with ice cream. Like, nobody wants your ice cream, sir. Can you just turn that music down? Shoot. So anyway, I know that there's something that you really embrace, and that's the ninja.
Yes.
So tell me, where did you get that? Where did that come from?
It's kind of the martial arts stereotype, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but I always wanted to be in something athletic because it was kind of a manifestation of how I viewed my dad.
Right. Okay.
Like my dad is such a hero to me. He was in Vietnam. He was like 173rd Airborne, so he was the guy that was jumping out of helicopters and just going into combat.
He's a hero.
He's cool. Like you see the camouflage was kind of a homage to him. But so there's always a part of like my dad that I wanted to pay tribute to. And for some reason, when I got into martial arts and was starting to learn about samurais and ninjas, I like the concept of the ninja because it's almost an unsuspecting person who does something really well.
Wow.
And they're always doing the hard work. You don't necessarily see it because they're not necessarily like promoting myself on Instagram or Facebook, which I probably should do more, but I'm doing the work, whatever that work might be, whether it's on myself, for my craft, for my family. And I like that concept of ninja because they stealthily sneak up on you. You're like, oh, where did this person come from? Whoa. Oh, they're prepared.
Right.
Well, ninjas like kill people, but maybe I don't do that necessarily.
You kill them with your talent.
Kill them with talent, but yeah, it's almost like a sleuthy underdog in a way, and I kind of embrace that because I think that I talk myself out of success a lot because you're like, well, you have to be these things. I'm like, no, you just have to be prepared for when opportunity meets timing, and yeah.
I'm sorry. No,
the chimes again.
We're in the middle of production, but I can hear up there. So I'm texting them to say I can hear you.
Like, shut up, guys! I'm being a professional right now, guys. It's a table flip.
I'm professional. So now let's get into Miss Kelly Kula's acting because let me just tell you before I get into this is what we're here for. So let me just say this: I've known you for a while. And I've seen your talent. I've seen you in person acting. And then I've seen you on screen on things that I've not seen you do. Like later on, I'll see it. But, and I've been blown away. But I'm just telling you, you guys, and Kelly, I'm talking to you. You have no idea. You produced and starred in this short film called Nova. And it's a sci-fi thing. I know, I'm going to let you talk about it, but it blew me away. You were so damn good. You were so good. I was crying and screaming at the damn thing. I wanted more. And the shot, that continuous shot that you guys did, I'm not going to give anything away, but I'm just saying, excellent, Kelly. If I didn't know you, I'd be like, woo, goosebumps.
Oh, you gave me goosebumps.
I'm so serious. So anyway, now let me let you talk about it because I just want to know where does this all start and let me know.
It's funny because there's the director I worked with, David Maccabee. We worked together on For the Love of Jesse, a feature film, and I was a bit part in that. And we decided that we enjoyed working with each other so much. He's a writer director, I'm actor producer, and so especially during this COVID time, it was actually a great opportunity to start creating our own work and just doing it. Why wait for someone else to put me in the roles that were appropriate for? So let's make our own. And so he asked me, he's like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, action comedy. And so he wrote Nova, which is like sci-fi horror. So I'm reading the script and I'm like, oh man, this is outside my comfort zone because I don't do that. Right. I don't. And the thing that, like the fact that you enjoyed it and it seriously makes me feel so good is because I've talked myself out of believing in, if I can't get to an emotional point in a scene or a story, I'm not a good actor.
Right, exactly.
And so the whole thing with Nova, without giving it away, is I have to go to a dark place.
Yeah.
And so when I read the script, my instinct was, no, I don't want to do it. It's not funny. I'm not beating people up. That's not me. And so basically, I wanted to change the dialogue to myself of like, why can't I do that? I need to stop being so mean to myself and trusting in the talent and the work that I put into it. So we go into production and It was hard. It was super hard, but in the moment, like the preparation was the hard part because it is a dark, dark place you have to go to. But in that moment, having a team that I could trust so that I could do that, like all I had to do was sit in that spot and do that role. And it was exhausting. Like at the end of the day, Briscoe, I was so tired because actually I had to shake a lot. And you don't think about it. Shivering is actually a way that people create body heat.
Yeah.
So I'm actually doing that, and I'm like, I'm sweating. I'm getting a workout, and I could not have done it without my tiny team. But I'm so proud of how it turned out in all facets. Like, I'm proud of what came out of me. I'm proud of the VFX artists, the special effects, the cinematography. I mean, every element that went into it. I am so excited. Hey, there's Miguel.
It's familiar.
I know, right? There he goes. There he is. That's my husband and producer partner.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it ended up, we started thinking that Nova was going to be an action comedy, ended up being a sci-fi horror, and now it's going into the festival circuit. So my biggest thing is like, I want to share it so badly and show people, but we're going to give it its due diligence, and then afterwards,
the anticipation is going to be worth it, because I'm just telling you, I'm looking forward to, I can see this becoming a feature. I see it.
That's awesome. And the writer has a feature version of it.
Wow.
So
I can,
it's ready to go if there's a and money.
Starring Kelly Kula. I'm serious. So good. So good. Now another production or another gig you have is let me get it right. I'm gonna look at my notes. Yeah, undercovers.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me about Officer Marsdale.
Ooh, she's a lot like me. First of all, I'm in it's a series that is about it's kind of like Scream meets procedural police work. It's undercover. I'm not doing it any justice right now, but it's actually one of the girls from the dojo that I am currently a part of is the one who cast me in it. And Marsdale, she did it because I am a very self-deprecating, snarky, witty person, and that kind of goes along with who this person is. Okay. So by the books, everything has to be procedural, but structure. And so when things go wrong, it's very comedic in an unintentional way, because it's just like, wait, this is not how I envisioned the situation. But I love procedurals. I love being a cop. I love having that that kind of badass saving thing, but also that humanity as well.
Right.
But yeah, so she's a lot like me, just in a uniform.
yeah, I love that. I love that. Let me ask you, as far as your martial arts, how often, or do you really love to bring that to your characters, or is that like an extra cherry on top when you get a character you can fight?
Yeah, it's kind of the thing that I like being able to do my own fights, not to infringe on the stunt world in any way, but I think that having actors do as much as they can do and have it look real, I think that's really important, because sometimes that's hard to fake with a stunt double. So doing all the action up until, you got to throw off a building or get set on fire. That's the kind of thing that I really like to do. So I like having the martial arts as a, don't set me on fire. But I like having it as a toolkit, because I think there's a authenticity in movement that martial artists have when they're in those roles. Oh. And so you can like watch them and know like, oh, that person knows how to move.
It's noticeable for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's important for the roles that I want. Not saying that's the only thing that I will do is like I will only do these things, but I think that it does help with the things that I enjoy.
So how far have you gotten in your belts? Because I know I've been following it, but then I get confused a little bit. So let us know how far you've gotten in your.
Yeah, I'm in this.
And what you study? I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. It's a weird world, because every system has different belt levels and colors. Some systems you can get to black belt in like 2 years. Ours is like a 6/7, maybe more. So 7 or 8 years. Wow. So right now I'm actually going to be testing, I think, in the next month for my 2nd degree brown belt. Ooh. So that's 2 more until black belt in our system.
Damn.
It's been 5.5 years in this particular art.
Wow.
To Kempo karate.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
Well,
It's my outlet.
no, I love to see your videos just since we're all sequestered in our homes, and I see
Yeah.
your workout stuff at home, and you make these workouts, you make them up as you go along, I guess. Today I'm going to do this just to make sure you keep yourself in shape. I
Yeah.
love when you do your kicks.
I know. Oh, thank you.
Damn, Kelly.
Not bad for an older lady.
Yeah, right. Older, what you talking about?
Oh, I'm no ingenue, but I can
Yeah,
still hit
right.
you in the head.
Yeah. So you don't know this, but I took like 3 or 4 classes.
Oh my gosh, where? That's
Oh,
amazing.
it was in the Bay Area. It was so long ago. I still have my gi. I'll put it on one day.
Will you
I
please?
was
What color is it?
It's white. It's just, and it has the dojo's name on the back still. And it was the white belt. It wasn't, like I said, I didn't get very far. But
Right.
I never told you that. I don't know why I never told you.
Oh my gosh, this is a series waiting to happen. Just so you know.
I did a web series a few years ago, and I played a martial arts assassin in a dojo. But since I was just an actor who did not know how to fight, there are no fight scenes. I don't kill anybody. I don't do
That's amazing.
the murder scene I did. They start out. They show the guy's head on the ground, and they show me going. So I'm like,
Totally believe it.
Yeah, they could have gotten a guy who could really fight. It was just, So I understand what it's like to be on a set where you want some experts and they're not there.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because I love that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that don't like it, and I'm like, great, that's fine. I would love to fill in that void of need, but I mean, the action shows. I mean, I love watching like John Wick.
Oh my gosh!
Pretty much, that's my thing.
The last one was amazing, wasn't it? Crazy.
Woo! I mean, the fact that they train. I mean, pretty much Keanu does almost all of his own stunts. Halle Berry did pretty much all of her own. Like, those sequences were rehearsed so much, and it was just so beautiful to watch them. So creative. And
so much, and even the dogs. It was like, wait a minute, look at these
I
dogs.
know. I was like, hello. It was great. No, that's my jam.
Yeah. So tell me about your other job, which is driving plates.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't really know what driving plates are, but they're really important to productions.
I'm still trying to figure it out, actually.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm very fortunate. I still, like, my survival job is still a part of the industry, and it's a very niche part of the industry. Basically, driving plates is a creation of David Smith, who's my boss / neighbor / friend. And basically, it's a 360 view of environments specifically used for driving. So whenever you see an actor in a car, they're usually in front of a green stage. I really articulate. No, usually you'll see the actors there on a stage, so a very controlled environment. Because I can't imagine being an actor delivering lines and actually physically driving. Oh. So to have them on a protected set, and then basically we fill in the environment in the background so they can see where they're driving. And so we have locations from here in LA to all across the world, so like 10,000 locations. Wow. And so basically I'm a librarian. I'm the person who like finds the footage that people need, and I get it to their productions, anywhere from student films to feature films. It's been crazy. I mean, granted, right now it's really slow because of because we're in the pandemic right now, guys.
Right? Yeah, I know. They haven't noticed, y'all.
we haven't said that yet, but
we'll get to that.
I know, right? It's still here, so we have time.
I know, right? I admire David and Alicia very much because I remember when you guys met them and then I met them, it's like, oh wow, we're all in the same field, us as actors, and then Miguel and those guys behind the scenes, and just the trajectory of everyone's career. We're doing pretty good for some old people.
I mean, and that's like the one stigma about the industry that I'm so adamant about addressing and pushing aside is that age stigma of like, you didn't make it by 21, maybe you should reconsider where you are. And it's that, and then I see all my successful friends, and some of them late 30s, 40s, 50s. Right. And what is your definition of success? Why can't what we're doing right now be success? Yeah. And that's the one thing. But those two, so David and Alicia are married, and they're killing it.
Yeah, they are killing it. It's great. Alicia's kind of like my boss.
She's kind of mine too.
Yeah, I know, right? Wait a minute, she's everybody's boss. Alicia is the first female director of photography for Grey's Anatomy. and
Yeah.
she did such a great job when they hired her that she is now the real boss of.
Yeah.
She is the DP of David Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. She's
And
the
I just
lead
happen to work
VP.
on. I work on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I worked on it before I even knew Alicia, and then it's so weird how the world happens. I stop and then met Alicia, and then eventually down the years later she gets this gig, and then I get back on. It's crazy. It's just we were
Full
supposed to
circle.
be. It was meant to be, and
Yeah. It's, what is it?
and,
The 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon? It seems like
yeah,
more like 3 degrees. You know, it's like
seriously, yeah,
things
it's
connecting
crazy.
quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, what do you have going on right now? As far as what would you like to do once this pandemic, or once we're allowed to leave our homes, or well, then again, you guys could do it from your house too. You have so much resources. So
Yeah, we're really lucky because we live next door to David and Alicia. So
right,
Miguel, my husband's an editor. There, we have a
yeah,
cinematographer, and who's that guy? We have gaffer and sound. Like, so basically, we have a production company within the 2 houses.
right,
So we do have the luxury. We're very blessed to be able to do our own productions, and we
yeah,
are we're doing a comedy, which we're actually going to try filming in August under the COVID guidelines. So
right.
all of that.
That's
But
good.
once all this is over, I mean, my focus, I would love to get this the co-stars on network TV, to get those under my belt and show the world. But I feel like things that I'm creating now will show the world what I'm capable of and give them a better
Absolutely.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're focusing on that, like small, I don't want to call it small production, but our own productions,
Your
so
own
that
productions, yeah.
we can keep producing and like not just sitting here stagnant, because there isn't a lot to do if you're
Right,
not a A-lister or B-lister even. So
right,
just create,
exactly.
create.
And this is why this this is an advantageous time for me to do this again, get it back on board. And
Yeah,
this is, I think this Zoom thing is really working out for people.
I
It really
know.
is. It's really helping us out, at least stay in touch with each other and start, like you said, producing our own stuff again. This
I
is
know,
really
and
great.
it's a great quality, and it's easy. It makes it simple. It's super simple. What
Shoot.
about you? I mean, what do you want to do once this whole?
Um, well, I'm just looking forward to starting auditioning. Now that I have an agent, everything's uh, when I've gotten a few calls from her as far as doing these on film, but
Mhm.
at the time I was sick. I had a big old thing going on with my
Oh,
teeth,
it's
so I'm
cheap.
like,
Yeah.
and those dried up right now. They're not doing those anymore. But yeah, I just want to start auditioning again and start book something when I can speak, because I work a lot doing background. I do a lot of work, standing work, background work, but I want to start speaking on um, camera. So even though I do, sometimes it's just not, I want my co-star roles, guest star roles and stuff like that. And
Right.
one of my biggest things I really want to do, I want to work with Kelly Kula.
Aw.
We got to do something one day because we have really good chemistry. So one day we're going to work together on something.
Well, now that I know that you have this gi and this white belt, I'm serious.
I know.
Like, that's a great comedy.
I'll pull it out. I pull it out. And I think it was really, no, I think I had started losing weight at the time. So it wasn't that, I could fit it. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's already big anyway. It doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh, it'd be so funny if it was tailor made for you though, because it's very fashionable.
I know,
Like
right? Oh, we can just
martial
cinch.
artist. Yeah. They have to
So,
have nice lines while practicing.
yeah, right. So look, let me tell me about your cute little family. That sounds like condescending. Tell me about your cute little family.
I know, right?
So you recently got married.
Did.
How's that going for you?
Good. I mean,
How's
it's
that
not
working out? How's that
we've
man
been
treating you?
always okay. No, it's great when you marry your best friend. It's I mean, we basically celebrated our first year anniversary in quarantine. So we
Right,
couldn't
that's
even
right.
go anywhere. So we've been quarantined with each other, and I think I've been watching new couples try that as their means of, hey, are we gonna last? Let's find out and move in for
Right.
quarantine. And I'm like,
Excuse me.
crazy. But no, I mean, we're hard workers. That's the one thing that Miguel and I
Yeah.
we're either like, it's a really great quality and it's also kind of bad because if you're always working, you also have to find time for yourself. But even in the quarantine, we've been finding time to go on a picnic, go on a walk, just little things to get out. And it's so natural. I guess everyone's like, how is marriage different? I'm like, it's just a natural segue for
Yeah.
where we were in our lives. And it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel fake. It just feels right.
Natural. Right.
Yeah. And we
You
got two
guys were,
fuzzy babies here. Here's
I
one of them.
know, the cutie pies.
Here's
See how
one.
that go? He's knocked out.
I know. They don't do any work around here, but yeah, we got 2 cats.
I know, I love
That's
them.
about the extent of anything that our family will be.
I know. And that's fine. That's great. Shoot,
Yeah. I'm totally cool for that. I've been weirdly baby shamed, like the fact that I've never wanted kids, and that's fine. But the fact that people are like, ooh,
I know.
sorry. I'm like, why? Why are you sorry?
And they give you that look like,
Mm,
get out of my face. I
I
said,
know.
no, I don't want kids.
Yeah, I'm like,
They're fine for 10, 20 minutes. No.
then you pass them back. Like, thank you.
My youngest nephew is 12. So they're in the double digits now. So they're grown people now. So I love that.
But being an aunt and an uncle, isn't that the best job ever?
I love it. I love it.
You're so cool.
Yeah.
Like, nothing you do is bad. And then you just,
right? Yeah.
the discipline goes to the parents, and you're just like the cool aunt.
I say, blame it on your mother. Don't talk to your mother.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that we Oh, did you hear that?
I didn't. What was that?
Can you imagine? No, that'd be good.
Oh no, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just like, what? No.
They're like, did you see her face? She's such a good actress. Like, no, that was real. Oh my gosh! Well, thank you, Kelly, for being here. Is there anything else you want to say? Oh no, I know what. I forgot to ask the most important thing.
Uh-oh.
How are you guys doing during this pandemic? How are you getting through all this? And
I mean, it's funny because everyone deals with stress differently.
yeah,
We're fine. Like, we have our health, and I feel that in this climate, because it's not even just the pandemic right now. We also have, systemic racism being addressed, and there's so many deeper issues at play that I feel that my boredom is not even. It's a non-issue. I'm healthy. I have no complaints, and if I do have complaints, I feel like a bad person. You know what I mean? So we've just been trying to, stay healthy, keep others healthy, and support our Black friends who are going through a tumultuous time right now. And I think that the biggest thing that we're trying to do is be educated allies.
right.
That's what we feel is our biggest job. Sorry, my table keeps. I talk with my hands a lot. If you haven't noticed,
Okay.
it's my computer.
We appreciate it too. We appreciate our allies that stand by us and just by being themselves. That's really important. Just by staying there and saying the words out of your mouth without being prompted is great. You know what I'm saying? So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just a weird time in all facets of like any division. It's just so strange, and watching your family and friends, and you're like, I thought I knew these people, and holy cow, and just trying to find peace with it and understanding. Because social media can be both beautiful and also just one of the ugliest things. And it's just trying to find those times of like, okay, time to shut off all technology and take a walk, because wow.
Speaking of walks, it's so funny. I watched some of your little videos. I always say, where's got this little word from? Yeah, it's usually on my phone. It's small. When you guys are going on your bike rides, they're riding their bikes, but you beat them while you're jogging. I was like, look at this. Superhero. Look, Wonder Woman over here. She's like,
Terminator running, like.
It's like, how did you get here so fast? I love that. I was like, wait a minute, she let them in the dust.
It cracks me up. Well, it's because I'm like, biking is fun, but it's not something I want to invest in. So I always go running with them, and so it's just, it's funny because it was like they'll be struggling over hills, and I'm like, hey guys.
Jamie Summers, that was her name, the Bionic Woman.
Yeah, there we go.
Bring that back.
I know, they tried. Remember?
Oh, they sure did. Well, yeah, that's right. That was 10 years ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was terrible. That and Wonder Woman. Yeah, they both messed it up. Well, it's about time for a reboot, a real one.
I know, because it's the story one. Like, it's a great story to be told.
Yeah, great story. Come on now.
Yeah.
We'll throw that out in the universe, Kelly. Okay, because I can see you definitely playing that role.
I mean, I know 2 actors who could be in that, so.
Yeah. I'll be the gay grandfather.
I know. No, you don't, because you are so young looking. Shoot, you're inspirational.
Thank you. That's why I had to put down on it. So thank you for saying that. But yeah,
he didn't prompt me. He didn't pay me to say that, guys.
Yeah.
So
you put your age range now. You can't. They don't ask you your age. It's just your range. I can't even my range. When I put 58, they're like, no, what? So I gotta go down. I go down to 48. Just 10 years younger. I tried.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. Even my agent was like, don't get mad. No, I'm not gonna say it on camera. We'll talk about it later.
You don't want video evidence of that.
I'm like, no, we'll say this later. Kelly and I are friends. I almost forgot that we're still on camera, not talking to each other. Yeah, my mother says, table talk. The stuff you say at your kitchen table, then you don't say on the in public.
Okay. I get it. Nope, I get it. We'll talk later.
Well, I'll hope to come and see you guys soon. Oh, by the way, I want you guys to know that Kelly and Miguel and David and Alicia gave me a social distancing birthday celebration. It was so nice.
That was fun.
I just want to say thank you. It made me feel special.
Gosh, of course. It's the least you can do in these
Yeah.
crazy times.
It was nice. So yeah, I felt great.
I'm glad you liked
It's
it.
so good seeing. Thank you for talking with me, Kelly. Being
Yeah.
on Real Talk.
Love it. Thank you for having me.
You're an inspirational young lady. You know that.
Oh, stop. You're
Really.
motivational as
Yeah.
fuck. Oops, can I
Yeah.
say fuck? Can I say
No, you
fuck?
can say this. Hey, this is my show. You can say what you want.
All
You're
right.
an
I
inspiration
fucking
to
love
all
you.
those young ladies out there that are tomboys and pretty girls at the same time, and they're told they have to pick a lane. Women or no one should have to pick a lane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can
And
be if you teach yourself and you go for it, you got it.
as David always says, and Alicia, they say, why does this have to be an either or situation? It's an and
Exactly.
situation.
That's right.
Be all the things you want to be.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for being here.
Love you.
I love you. And I want to tell my audience, remember, if you have a dream in your heart and a plan, it is never too late. Can you fix it? Big ol' eyes. Love you, Kelly.
Love
Have
you.
a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.